up, everyone? Welcome to the Hemi Go TV channel. Today we'll be looking at how does Hemi optimize latency for cross-chain transactions. Now, in today's crypto world, speed changes everything. A few seconds can decide whether a trade becomes profitable or a missed opportunity. But one of the biggest problems in blockchain today is not just scalability; it's latency, especially across chains. Moving assets between ecosystems still feels slower than it should. Users wait for confirmations, bridges introduce delays, liquidity becomes fragmented, and during volatile markets that we have in current market today, even smaller delays becomes expensive. That's exactly the problem Hemi is trying to solve. If you guys can remember in 2018 when the gas was very high in Ethereum blockchain, there are a lot of delays that is currently going on the Ethereum blockchain. That's why this layer 2 came on board to solve this issue of scalability. But most of them forgot about latency, and that's what Hemi is currently building and they are developing to make the blockchain industry more friendly and more faster for both investors, institutions, and traders. So in today's world, we are breaking down Hemi optimized latency for across chain transactions, and that's why we could become critical for the future of the blockchain infrastructures. Now, why cross-chain latency is a big problem? Most blockchain ecosystems were never designed to communicate effectively with each other. Bitcoin operates separately on its own. Ethereum operates separately also on its own too. And many layer 2 that we have currently, like the Base, the Arbitron, and the rest of them, they depend on external bridges and fragmented messaging system to move assets between chains. That creates friction, and every additional step becomes introduce more waiting time, more verification, more complexity. And under heavy network conditions, those delays becomes even more worse. For traders, it's not that they don't find this thing very, very easy with them. So even latency is a very big issue for traders. Also for developers, it affects application performance and also for institutions, also set settlement for create operational risk because capital moves faster when it comes to institutional like the banks, JP Morgan and the rest of these big banks we have in the US, even in Canada and also in Africa. So if infrastructure needs more uh, uh, blockchain to move faster than ever before. So Hemi core approach on this area of latency is that Hemi approach these problems differently. Instead of treating Bitcoin and Ethereum like isolated ecosystems connected by temporary bridges, Hemi is designed around deeper integration between both networks. That matters because cross-chain latency often comes with fragmented architecture. Asset moves from across separate systems. Validators process information independently and also use as weights while network synchronize. Hemi reduced all this because much of that complexity by creating a more unified execution environment between Bitcoin and Ethereum. That goal is simple because it reduces unnecessary transaction overhead. It reduces communication delays that we have between chains. It also improves how faster value and data move across network. Hemi reduces latency. One of the key advantages in Hemi design is transaction efficiency. Instead of relying heavily on slow external coordination layers, the network is optimized to process interaction more directly and efficiently. This helps reduce settlement delays and also transaction bottlenecks, unnecessary bridges confirmations, fragmented execution paths. The result is smoother transaction experience across ecosystem, and this becomes extremely important during periods of high activity that we have currently in our modern days in this 2026 because we have more people coming on board on the blockchain industry right now. We have uh, back in the days there was nothing like most of these ways, they are not there in back in the days in the early 2016, 2017. They were not there, but because of regulatory policy that is coming on board currently now, by the clarity hard that is being currently being voted, and by July, we should have more finalizing of the Charity Act. More institutions will come on board, and they need a blockchain that can scale their assets, that can actually move, that can actually make their transaction more faster because they are dealing with large volumes. Just like when you go to the banks, you need a fast execution of your assets, of your transaction. So that's what Hemi currently solving in our current days. So why this low latency matters for adoption is because most people think blockchain adoption depends only on security because of the security hack activities that we have in our modern days. So that's what most people actually focus on. So, but they forgot about the latency, that the means by which you can make a transaction in a very less than a second with a large volume of data. So most people think blockchain depends just only on security, but the speed also matters as much. Traditional financial system process transactions rapidly because users expect instant responsiveness. Crypto infrastructure will eventually face the same expectation when this regulatory act is being passed. Now, if decentralized systems want to support global payments, institutional trading, tokenized assets, gaming economies, real-time applications, then latency cannot remain weak. This is why infrastructure projects on transaction optimization are becoming incredibly important because Hemi position itself directly in this category, not just as another chain like other layer tools that we have in on board already, but what Hemi does is that it makes this infrastructure designed for efficient interoperability. So the bigger picture about all this is that the future of blockchain may not belong to isolated ecosystem. It may belong to network capable of coordinating liquidity, security, and execution across multiple chains with minimal friction. This is where low latency infrastructure becomes more powerful because users do not care about technical architecture. They care about performance, how their platforms like their apps can work effectively. Now, does it actually execute quickly? That's another question users also ask. Does it remain stable under pressure? Like if you can remember when Hemi was having their test net, you know, Hemi did what we call pressure test of the network where we have large volume. That's when Hemi was able to break the Sepolia. It was the first network that broke the Sepolia network because it was able to handle large volume of transactions, and it was very fast through the tunnel, through the bridges, even the third party bridges were also in support of it. Now, another question users also ask, does it really feel seamless like when you make transactions on the blockchain? These questions will define the next phase of adoption when this clarity act is being passed. Now, Hemi appears to be building towards this future. Now, just to wrap this video up, the cross-chain activity is not just growing rapidly, but speed and efficiency still remain major challenges across in the industry. The network that solve latency effectively could become fundamental infrastructure for the next era of blockchain adoption. Hemi is clearly aiming to be the part of this conversation because Hemi is solving all these issues by creating low latency for institutions, for developers, for traders, even for ordinary users in the industry. Hemi is actually building all these things to make sure low latency is being solved in the industry. So with this, before I wrap this video up, I would like to introduce the Hemi official S page to you. This is the Hemi Twitter page. You can follow Hemi for updates of the technology. Currently, we are still working on the zero knowledge. So a lot of updates are coming. You can see many of these partnerships like BTC.org. They did a presentation last week, and this week the engineering session will also be coming up again by Thursday. The AMA session by Mars will also be coming up on Tuesday. So I would like you guys to hang around on the Twitter. It's going to be featured on Twitter and also on YouTube. You can find the Hemi network on YouTube. Just go to the YouTube and search for Hemi network. So this is the official Hemi page of the YouTube page for Hemi. So you can see This is Mas, the co-founder of Hemi Network. So then on the YouTube you'll be seeing a lot of engineering teams like the VP. You see VP also be coming on board. You see a guy called most of these engineering guys will also be coming on board. Then also you can also find Rich on you could see Rich live on the YouTube. The guy that laughed more than a thousand times in a day. You know, it's a fun when it comes to the EMA session where you ask your questions directly with the co-founder and if you want to build as a developer, just come on the EMA sessions and join and ask questions and the co-founder will give you a direct answers. And also we also have a community on Discord. This is where we have fun. This is where we interact. This is where things are really happening on the blockchain industry. Where you want to know what is going on the Hemi network, you want to interact with the users of the Hemi network. This is where things are actually going on. This is where you have fun. When you are sad, maybe when the market is when you're having a bear market, for example, market is bearish. Just come to Discord. Just come to Discord and have fun, and you see a lot of excitement going on in the Discord community. A lot of activities that you can even earn from, like lot of activities like the gig activity that's coming on board. Then we also have the amigos of the month on the Discord community where you can earn. You can also have t-shirts like the one I'm putting on right now. You can have this kind of t-shirts which are active on the community. So a lot of things, a lot of exciting activities going on Discord. So I will encourage you guys to come and join us on Discord and have fun and also be part of the community and grow with us. And we'll see you there on the sky. Thank you.